Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live session today. Um, just before we start, my name is Teemi Pheels. For those joining us for the first time, or for those coming onto my channel for the first time, and we're talking about securing a job and work permit in Canada from Nigeria. So that's going to be the topic today. And just before we start, we'll wait a few minutes to see if we people can come in, and then we introduce our guest speaker today. And so let's wait a few minutes and see if we can get more people in. And while we are waiting, you would notice the chat button. So if you have any questions, start preparing your questions down so you can drop your questions in the chat box below. And then after we finish talking, then we'll be able to, pick those questions one at a time and then address them. Okay. Okay, without wasting any further time, yeah. So, like I said, my name is Teemi Pheels, and we're talking about securing a job from Canada all the way from Nigeria, and that this is possible. But how? That is why we are bringing in our guest speaker today, Seyijegz. Seyijegz, I'm just going to give her the floor to introduce herself, and then we'll get started. Seyi, the floor is open.
Thank you. My name is Seyi. Sorry, I have a cold, so if my voice sounds very awful. I work as a software developer, and I also have a YouTube channel, seyijegz, where I share my experience so far, and I hope you'll be able to learn something and know that it's possible. Thank you.
Okay. So, that's Seyijegz for you. Seyi will be sharing our experience and how we will be able to secure a job and then our work permit from Canada. Let's just start because I see we have about 6 people in already. So Seyi, are you ready?
Yeah.
And yeah, good. Okay. So like I said, the topic for today is securing a job. How can we actually secure a job and work permit in Canada from Nigeria? So she is going to tell us how we're going to be able to do this, the processes involved, how you're supposed to start, the step-by-step process, and everything that will have to be that will be useful to us. So make sure you have your pen and paper by the side, or if you can always come back and watch the video. Okay. And like she said, she has a channel, seyijegz. This live will also be on her channel. So guys, let's get started. She, the floor is open.
Okay. So like the question and topic today is securing a job and work permit in Canada from Nigeria. I'll be sharing my experience on how I secured a job from Nigeria and relocated to Canada through that same job. So, first thing to note is that Canada is somewhere that they require a lot of foreign workers because the population is growing and there's not much, children in the whole community and things like that. They need workforce. Unlike in Nigeria, where there's the young population and there's no work, Canada has the job and they don't have a lot of people to do these jobs. So there's some skills that are clearly defined that they're really in high demand in Canada. One of them is the ICT field, the STEM field. And to come to Canada, I'm sure many of you know the many processes. You've heard of express entry. You might not have heard, but there's a global talent stream that focuses on ICT and STEM workers. There's the academic part where many people come to study and then transition into workers. And there's the agricultural part as well, where you can come as an agricultural worker. There's the caregivers part. You can come as a PSW or caregiver, that's personal support worker. And there are also positions in Quebec. The only additional requirement, aside of course having the skill that you require, is for you to be able to speak French. So there's so many paths to come into Canada. And so one of them is the Global Talent Stream, which was one of the pathway that I came by. And it hires, in-demand skills, ICT people, for instance, software developers, analysts, business analysts. So not just software developers where you're here in ICT, business analysts, mathematicians, anybody that falls into the ICT realm, maybe data scientists, data engineers, and all the like. So these people are in high demand. And then the government of Canada created this pathway so that it will be easy for employers to get this talent into the country, help them build. So it's like a win-win. So it's a fast track process. The only thing is that before you can start working in Canada, these employers have to apply for an LMI, which is called labor market impact assessment, and this is what they have to do for you. Once you get that, you use that to apply for your work permit. So that's like the summary of it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Seyi. And wow, that's a very, very deep one, the global talent stream. So my question now is, this global talent stream, is it only for the ICT? I know you said, you Heidi mentioned mathematician and, but, and you said for jobs in demand, there are other jobs in demand that are aside from ICT. Are this included in this global talent stream? Say like maybe registered nurses, um, say like healthcare field, say like right now the hospitality business is booming. So are they there, or is just strictly maybe IT related or mathematician? Just so please can you just.
Okay, that's a good question. So, like I mentioned, there are different ways that you can immigrate into Canada, but the global talent stream is specifically for the ICT people. Doesn't mean that if you are into the hospitality business, you cannot come into Canada and work. It just means that you won't be applying for a work permit under the global talent stream. So, for instance, somebody reached out to me on Instagram and she told me that she got a job in Canada as well from Nigeria through the rural and northern immigration pathway. And she got a what's the name, medical laboratory work. So can you see? But she also had to apply for work permits. But this is not under the global talent stream. Does not mean that she cannot still get a job. And she's already in Canada. So that shows you that there are many pathways. So one of them is just the global talent stream. So if you're an ICT person, you just know global talent stream is what you're looking for. If you're into caregivers part, like maybe a personal support worker, yes, you still get a job in Canada and you can still come, but you won't be applying under the global talent stream. Just same way, express entry for permanent residents. You can either come in as a PMP, or you can come in through the express entry, or you can come in through maybe this other routes, maybe like this rural one or the caregivers part. So there are just different opportunities and application under like different streams. But yes, securing a job doesn't is not restricted to only ICT people. Health workers too can come. If you look into like the rural and northern immigration program, you can also check for jobs that are in demand in that space and apply to anyone you deem fit. And if you're an ICT person, which even makes it more better for you because there are many people that are looking for ICT workers, you can come in through platforms like VanHack or Global Skills Hub. These people are specifically focusing on ICT people. And there's also the job bank that all of us know about, where you can search for the jobs that fit into your profile and apply. There's also Indeed Canada. So you can also look for jobs that fit into your profile. Just check the requirements and see if you fit it. And of course, when you're applying for any job, you know there are some requirements. You need to have your CV, you need to have your cover letter, you need to fit your CV to fit the job description that you're looking for. You can apply to 10 different jobs, but you can tweak your CV to make it fit into these 10 different jobs. So just the same way you would have done for that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shay. That's right. You're very right. There's so many different pathways that people can actually, assess. The most important thing, you have to be dedicated, put in your time. It's very important. Nobody's gonna tell you, "Oh, I'll get this job for you." No, they just want to get your money. You have to put in the time and effort yourself. There's so many pathways, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing stopping you from doing that, right? So and just like you said, there's so many other job sites, like this coming Friday now, I'm going to post something about the job bank, how people can actually navigate the system, step by step, that will help them. Aside that, there are other various job banks that you can actually use to secure a job. The most important thing is you getting that job. So now I want to ask you, how did you go about getting the job? I know you just mentioned now that you'd apply to about 10 jobs, and I know with that job you have to like suit your own resume, or or you have to tailor it to what that specific employer wants. Now, I'm not saying copy word for word job description.
Yeah.
you just have to make it clear, right? But I mean, you kind of streamline it to 80% of what they want. Just like Express Entry, you're doing your reference letter. They don't want you to copy word for word, but they want to make sure that you have that experience that you said you have. So you have to coin your words in your own words. So tell me, how was job hunting for you like, and how long did it take?
Job hunting for me wasn't like 1 plus 1 equals 2. It took a long time. I know it took me about 10 months. So when people are applying for jobs and they're saying, "Oh, I've been applying for the past few weeks," and I'm like, "Please, do you know how long I applied for?" And this is also a tech job whereby as you're applying, you're taking assessments. So it's very rigorous, it's very draining.
Hmm.
So the process I took was, of course, first of all, prepare my CV and my cover letter, and then I had a template for the CV and cover letter. And for every company I applied to, I'm changing it to fit into that company, whatever. And I also have a spreadsheet, funny enough, to document every company I've
Wow.
applied to and the role and to show the progress. Although that you don't have to do that. It's just me trying to keep track of what I'm applying for. And then I also applied on different platforms that help foreign workers, targeted at tech workers, somewhere like Van Hack and Global Skills Hub. And the thing about these platforms is that they also have their own tests and internal ranking system. So there's a lot of talent pool within them. They post the job, specifically sponsored jobs. So that this job, you're already seeing it from the description that this is a sponsored job. It has relocation package within it. And maybe for the first 6 months, you might just have to work remotely, or first 1 year, it was clear from the beginning. So it's not just a job that if you don't want relocation, you shouldn't apply for that type of job. And if it's relocation job that you're looking for, you shouldn't be applying to a job that doesn't have the relocation listed on it. So I went through the internal process for Van Hack, Global Skills Hub, and some other platforms, as well as applying individually to other companies. Because when you're searching for a job, you have to spread your net as wide as possible, so that when you have the options, when you finally get one, you can now say, okay, this is the one. Or if you have multiple options, you can streamline them. So going through those processes, and then I finally got the opportunity of interviewing with one company through Van Hack, and that was how I went through the stage of their internal recruiting process. So in as much as you get interfaced with a company, you still have to go through their own recruitment process, like as if it was one-on-one. So you go through the HR call, take home assignment, come to meet the other team members, normal interview process, depending on what type of role you're applying for. And that's how I got the job, got the offer, and then I was to start as soon as possible. And that was how I secured my job. So I had to work remotely for a few months, and then the relocation process started. And then they had to apply for the LMIA, which is the Labor Market Impact Assessment. But mind you, I've started working already back from Nigeria. And when the LMIA was successful, I was able to apply for a work permit using the LMIA. And that was how I got my work permit and relocated.
Wow. 10 months of job searching. My girl. Admire your consistency. No, that's what
Well,
people don't understand. It takes a lot. Like if it's something you want, you just have to, take it serious, keep trying, don't give up. Wow, 10 months. That's a lot. And the truth of the matter is, even those that are in Canada here, it's the same thing. You have to keep
true.
applying for that job, interviews. And aside from that, even before interview, assessments on each job you apply to. And aside from that, sometimes at some point you get it mixed up. But I like the fact that you say you had a track sheet. So every organization you apply to, you know what you applied at, and that's very smart. Wow, that is so beautiful. I hope you guys are learning from Seyi.
you
I
know, you
tell
know,
you, because I'm learning myself, right? So I hope you guys are learning. So she persevered. She continued applying, applying, applying. There's so many thousands of jobs in Canada. So there's absolutely nothing stopping you. You don't have to have a master's degree. You don't have to have a PhD. In fact, just know your skills. If you know the job, the sky is just your limit. You just keep applying. Okay, so Seyi, thank you. So you have just mentioned to us now that it took 10 months for you to secure the job, and you also mentioned that you had started working remotely before your LMIA became successful. That is good. Like it's very rare, even from Nigeria, like to get LMIA approved. Was there anything that you needed to I know the employers usually would get you the LMIA, but what were the requirements on your own part, aside from the employer, that helped you facilitate the LMIA?
Well, I don't think I had to do anything because at this point I'd already gotten the job offer and we'd already started working. So for LMIA process, I think it's basically about the employer and showing the employers to show that okay, they've tried hiring somebody within Canada for that role and they did not get anybody, which the employer would do. And I'm sure the employer should also have their taxes and files straightforward with the government. As long as that is done, they can apply and within a few weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, to get approved. So I didn't need to submit anything particularly for that process.
Okay.
Aside
Well,
maybe CV, I don't need to pay anything. It's just what the employer should do.
yeah, actually for LMIA, the employers are in charge. They are supposed to actually pay for that. And I think they usually pay 1,000 for the processing.
$1,000.
Yeah,
Yes.
so if you have any company that you're applying to and are telling you to bring 1,000, no, please run as fast as you can, because that's not true. Because the employer is meant to actually, do the paying and everything themselves. Okay, so that's very good. Like I'm really, really that's nice. I know tech is really, in high demand, but right, it's good. Okay, to my next question. So when you got your LMIA approved, which of course you're gonna use for your work permit, how long did it take for you to, secure the work permit from Nigeria before you eventually, board in that plane?
Oh, yeah. So I have that documented because I get asked that question a lot.
Okay.
So when the LMIA was approved, it was now time for me to apply for my work permit. But then I realized that my passport was going to expire, and
Okay.
I yes, and the thing about Canada is once you submit your passport, it's the validity of your passport. That's how long they're going to give you the work visa for. So if, for instance, the work visa is supposed to be 2 years and your passport is expiring a year, they'll just give you 1 year. So you have to renew. So I didn't want all those stories. So I had to take some time to go get a new passport. So that took some delay. But when I finally got my passport, I submitted my application on the 25th of May 2021, and I finally got back my approval of work permit by July 1st, which is May 25th, June 25th, and July 1st. So it's less than 2 months from the process of submitting my application and getting back approval. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
if you
so
want to
fast.
know the timeline, I can tell you specifically. So
Yeah.
like I submitted my application May 25th. My biometrics was done. Biometrics collection letter was given to me 24 hours after. That's May 26th. And I got the request letter to resubmit my marriage certificate, which I already submitted initially, but that happens as well. So I resubmitted that. Then I got a correspondent letter to show me that my biometric passed. That is on June 20th. And then on June 20th again, I got passport request. So I submitted my application May 25th. June 20th, I got passport request. So that's like less than a month. And then by July 1st, the passport had already been stamped and on my way back to me, which was every day.
Wow. Well, it looks like the process was very smooth, especially for the visa part. Wow, that's very good. It's very good to hear that. Well, that's really awesome. I must say. But anyways, you played your own part very well, so maybe that's why the whole process went so smoothly for you. And
Well, I think for the process, basically, they already tell you what you need to submit. And the place where most people have it, maybe problem with is maybe when they're saying that you have to prove that you're coming back to your country. So, yes, I had to write a letter to say that, yeah, after my visa expires and my work tenure is done, I'll come back, which is just normal template response. It just, and then proof of fund. People ask me that question a lot about proof of fund, like when you're coming. So your proof of fund in that same letter will be like, this is my compensation, this is my work salary, and that should be enough for my proof of fund. So you don't need to save any extra money because now you already got a job that will be paying you. So you basically have it all covered. And the government wouldn't approve the LMIA if the basic salary doesn't meet their standard. So there's a benchmark of salary that they can allow for an LMI job applicant. So you need to be at least that amount or above. So definitely they know that you'll be comfortable and you'll be okay on your own.
Okay, so for the benchmark you have just mentioned now, that depends on the position you're coming in or the field of occupation that you are involved. So yeah,
Yes.
so that should also come into consideration for people who are trying to apply for jobs in Canada. Make sure that the income is at par with what the government wants. Otherwise, it will be rejected. I would
Yes,
say.
it will. It will. It will. So there's like the different there's a minimum benchmark for each skill and based on your location as well. Because if I'm a software developer in Calgary, for instance, the salary might be different from if I'm a software developer in Vancouver. So these things have to align, provincial law and federal law. And all these things are on their website anyway, so it's not something hidden that you have to pay somebody to get the information. Just go to CIC page and check work permit and check LMIA process. You'll see everything clearly listed.
Okay, so guys, you hear that? Everything is on CIC.ca is there, www.cic.ca. Anything, any information you need is there. And of course, if you want anybody to give you the information, they will charge you. So you too, you have to be serious and go and do it yourself. Make some research yourself, okay? Because it's time. Everything here is time consuming. Everywhere in the world actually is very time consuming. So guys, try as much as possible to make some research yourself. Okay, so now Seyi has told us that she came in through the talent because I took some notes, the global talent stream, specifically for the ICT, right?
Yes.
Occupation. So, and during the course of this discussion, we also know that there are other various pathways. So, like we have the express entry for the skilled workers, we have the caregivers for the auxiliary nurses. I like to say that because not so everybody know what a PSW is. Of course, PSW is personal support worker. So they are also like auxiliary nurses, right? So have your certificate and stuff like that, or do some caregiver, few months certificate back home and use that to apply. There are lots of them here. So we also have the rural and northern pathway. Those are for jobs that are in the rural areas, the northern parts. Okay, so there are jobs there you should look into. It's not like the urban, the city, but the most important thing is for you to secure a job here. Imagine securing a job and you don't have to be showing proof of fund, because proof of fund is one major issue that we have, that Nigerians do have, right? And right now people are going other ways to get that. So you get coming in through a work permit, saves your life because you don't have to show any proof of fund because you already have your job waiting for you. And you can also come in with your family. Is that correct, Seyi?
Yes, that's correct. I
Yeah.
came with my family.
Okay. So you can always come in with your family all together. So it's not like one person is waiting behind while the other, you know, is begging, when am I coming? So yeah, it makes your life very easy and it makes your settling in Canada easier, trust me. Aside from if you don't have a PR, if you're not coming through the express entry, I think work route is one of the best as well. Okay. And she has also mentioned that there are ways that you can use to prepare for this yourself. The first is, one, for you to prepare your resume. It's very important. It has to be Canadian standard. Like, it's there on the website. you know Google it. Canadian website, is there. Just make sure that your resume is, just have a generic one, and then once you now start applying for jobs, then you can have, matching it to that job description. Like I said, do not copy word for word because that is like a red flag, number one. And then make sure you have a cover letter. Cover letter is, why do you think you fit that job? You need to be able to sell yourself, so you should do that. And one thing I really took out from Seyi is, she said that you should also have a spreadsheet where you can list all I'm emphasizing on this, because you should have a spreadsheet or where you can list the companies you have applied to, the job titles and everything. Trust me, because when they come back calling, you will know what kind of job or application, or that you submitted in a particular organization, and then you get it all mumbled up, and you don't want that, right? So please, that's a very good one, Seyi. Please have a spreadsheet and write each and every job you've applied to and the position you applied there. and also save your resume so you can go back while you're preparing for your interview and read what you have written there. Because the different thing for you to say you can do this, you can do that, and during the interview and they ask you a question and you're like saying something else. That is why that spreadsheet is very, very important. Okay, you guys can hear roughly it took Seyi a year. Is that correct?
Yeah,
From
10
beginning
months.
to the end. Yeah, 10 months. Yeah, to get to where she is. But the most important thing is that she got to where she is today, and she's happy about that. Is not Canada is fine. It's a beautiful place. So we are rooting for you guys to come. And one thing I want to say is that if you come in on a work permit, you can work a minimum of 1 year. Is that correct? Okay,
No,
let me
it's two
just ask.
years.
Is it 2 years? Okay, let me just ask you. So what's the PR pattern or pathway now that you are in Canada? What's the period? What's
Oh,
the
okay. So for somebody that come in as on work permit, it's very good because you're already working, and from the day you land, 1 year after, you are qualified to apply for the Canadian Express Experience class, which is CEC. So you have extra points to your PR pathway. That's like the express entry points. You can apply for PR under CEC. Also, because you're employed, and if your employer qualifies, you can also apply for the employer specific provincial nomination pathway. So, for instance, for some people that their company has been existent for more than 3 years, and if, for instance, in Ontario, for instance, you can apply under the employer specific permanent residency part, that's the PR part, PMP part. So your employer sponsors you. Not like your employer is paying anything, but because they're in good standing, you can apply under them, and you also get a permanent residency through that. And there are many other opportunities that will open to you, because if, for instance, you come with your family, that means you come with your spouse, you that got an LMI work permit to be on a closed work permit, your spouse to be on an open work permit, meaning that they can work anywhere, any type of job. So think about it as two ways. If you have an opportunity to apply under these pathways for PR, your spouse also has that opportunity as well. So, the one that works best for you is what you pick. And if you come with your children as well, they have the study permit as long as they are within the age limit. So the many opportunities apply.
That's right. That's true. I mean, imagine two partners coming in and then working together. Wow. You guys don't have a problem. And like you said, the moment you step in, it starts counting for you. And then
Yeah,
you can apply for the CEC. The CEC, you only need 1 year experience before you start to submit your application. So the moment your 1 year, completes, you can just submit your application. And again, she said there's some organizations that I don't know what they call it right now, but you get points for that if your employer states that they hired you, that intra-company. Yeah, let me just say you get some point for that. It makes your life easier, and you get selected in the pool easily.
yes,
Then
yes.
before you know it, 1 year and few months, you're already, a PR holder. So this line is also very good. The only thing, like I said, is you have to take the pain to search for
Just
jobs.
for the job, yeah.
That's it. Just take that pain and search for it. Do your resume well, and you'll be fine. So right now, I will just be taking not me, we'll be taking, right, Shay? We'll be
Yeah,
taking questions and answers. And so guys, drop your questions in the chat. Let me see. Oh,
I
we
think
have
there's some
a
questions
question.
already.
Yeah, I didn't know because okay, so we'll be reading the question. Where should I even start from? Hmm.
There's somebody asking about
Yeah,
copyright.
I'll just be putting it here and then we'll be reading it. Hi, hello everyone. Hello, good evening. Fantastic info. Thank you, boss. Okay, so let's just put this. So drop your questions if you want us to. What about for self-taught people without certification in some soft skills, such as copywriting and copy editing and so on? Do you want to take that or you want me to take that?
I can try and then you can continue. So when you're looking for a job, I think there are some jobs that are skill based and there are some that are very certificate oriented. So if, for instance, you're applying for a nursing job, you need to have the degree and the experience to back it up. And if you're applying for some jobs whereby maybe software development or copywriting, for instance, whereby the certificate is not essentially the most important thing, is the skill that is required. So I think it's based on the job description in this case. So when you get to the job description, if they are not putting certificate is compulsory and they're saying it's just the skill they want and they're going to sponsor you, I think that's all that you need to know about it. Because at that point, you have already met the requirements. But if a job is specifically asking you for degree in related stuff, that's not for you. So just like for some software jobs, if you're applying to some companies in particular, they require you to have master's, PhD, and some would not require of you. It's just, your skill. You need to have this particular technical skill. So I'll say that applies to this as well. So without certification and you have the soft skill, you have the experience, just look for jobs that require this copywriting and copy editing experience. And if they're going to do sponsorship for you, or if they want you to work remotely for them. So you just try to filter your search based on what your requirement is and what you fit into, basically.
Well, yeah, just like she said, I'll just say one or two things. Me, I always encourage people to have something to show that they have that skill, right? No matter how little it is, because I've noticed that Canada employers, they want evidence as well as they are still going to test you, but they just want to see that thing on paper. That said, it's not stopping you because technical skills can never be taken away from you. Once you are applied to that job, of course, you are going to be assessed. So if you do very well, then yeah, why not? Then you proceed. So yeah, that's about it. Said, but one can showcase one's credibility with the skill set should one be asked just opportunities what is needed. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Um, are you saying if you get a job, you don't need a certain amount sitting in your account for proof of? That's right. Right? You want to more like
Yes,
that's
yes,
right.
correct.
That's correct.
Yes, correct. Because when you get a job, you're getting a salary compensation. So you can show that that salary that you be getting is your proof of fund. So you don't need any amount sitting in your bank account. Basically, what I needed to do was just book my flights, get accommodation, move in, and that was it.
And that's it. So this person said, do you know of any agency recruiting nurses in Canada? The agencies recruiting nurses in Canada. Yeah, I don't know any agency recruiting nurses in Canada, but I know some provinces that are actively requesting nurses to come. Please try International Mobility Pathway Program in Saskatchewan. Right now, they are looking for international nurses. So, but please bear in mind that you will need Ielts for that. So check on their website and do the needful. They are really recruiting registered nurses right now. I'm not sure about RPN, but please check them out. Yeah, they are really, really looking for nurses right now. But for the agencies, I don't know, but I know it's based on province by province, and Saskatchewan right now need nurses. Check the international mobility program. Right now they need it. So good luck. Ineka. Um so see. Must one have an active profile in EE pool? Okay,
Express
as
entry.
I said before applying. No, no, you don't necessarily have to have an active pool in EE before applying for job. Please apply for your job. Did you hear what she said? It took her 10 months. Like if you don't apply right now, you'll be waiting 10 months. And it doesn't really, make any sense. So you don't have to have an EE. But if you qualify for EE, you have your Ielts, you have your West, I strongly suggest you create a profile and remain there. Because the truth of the matter is any province can just reach out to you if they like, if they are in shortage of that demand, like maybe you fall into that demand, they can just call you. So you don't want to lose that opportunity. Never say never when it comes to Canadian immigration. So please, I encourage everyone, if you know you are eligible to create a pool, please create a pool and remain there. If your pool expires after 1 year, renew again and open it. Just stay there because you never can tell. It could just be when you're out of that pool that they just call ridiculous, amounts. We are giving IT. No, seriously, we are giving invitation letters to those that have 300, and then you have 300, and you're like, oh my god, why was I not in the pool? So you can do that, and do both at the same time. Now, let me tell you guys, there's something called dual intent. Okay, dual intent means that you're coming on a temporary visa to Canada, and you're also making your intention know that you want to be a permanent resident. So let's say right now you are coming on a work visa, and you're also applying on the express entry, which is of course you are trying to get a PR. It's allowed so far you show that dual intent. It is legal, completely legal. You can do two things at the same time. It is legal, guys. So please.
In addition, I have something to say about that dual intent. So, for instance, if you get an LMIA job and you also applied on the express entry pool, it gives you additional 50 points to show that you have an LMIA job. So once you add that to your express entry profile, you have additional 50 points. So what that means for you, it's a win-win. They're complementary. They don't, disturb each other. So please, as much as possible, open the express entry profile, put as many information as possible, and also apply for your job. So they're not disturbing any one of them,
Okay, this person said, "Good evening. Please, how do we get the website for job also for caregiver?" Okay, I will just take this because as a caregiver person myself. Okay, so like I said, there are so many websites that you can check, but I have a video I'll be dropping on Friday. I specifically went through the step-by-step process of how you can actually, and I think I used caregiver actually, maybe because it's my field, right? I used caregiver as an example. So I'll drop the video on Friday by God's grace. You would go through that, and aside from job bank, there's Indeed, there's Workapolis, there's so many that you can actually access job. This year caregiver job, in fact, it's plenty. They need them in all the province. I would say all the province, they need them. So like she said, you just have to keep applying, and don't worry, just stay tuned to the channel. It will drop on Friday by 1 p.m. I'll drop the video so you can take it and look at the steps you can see. And also, now that we're talking about that, for many people who are still deciding on how to choose a career, or you want to transition, or you just don't know what to do, I also spoke about that in that video, how you can use the job bank to determine which program or which occupation will be beneficial to you, that will still be in demand in another 5-10 years, because that's very important. You don't want to come here, start a career, and then it's not booming in the next 5-10 years, and then like, it doesn't make any sense. So that video will also share that light. So yeah, caregiver job is everywhere. You can just search online, Google, or you wait until Friday when it drops. I said confirm. Okay. I have to go back. Yeah, good evening. Thanks for the answer. Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Okay, I think you missed one, the one about Ielts.
No, it's still down, I think. I'm going one by one so I don't miss out
Okay.
anybody's question. Are you saying, okay, we already said this. Do you know any agency recruiting nurses? We already answered that. Amazing answer, many things. Okay, Ielts is this one. Said, is Ielts as part of the process after securing a job in Canada? Yes. Yeah, Ielts, for some company they may need it, for some they may not need it. But if you are still going to apply for PR, you would need it. Unfortunately, you can't run from it. I've noticed many Nigerians are running from Ielts. You can't run from Ielts, unfortunately. You will still need it at some point. But there are some provinces that the points are lower. You don't have to like have the normal threshold that would express entry will tell you have a CLB7. That means when I say CLB7 means that you must have 666 in each band, not overall, guys. 666 in each band. But yes, for you to have your PR, you will need it. In fact, some organizations will tell you they need the Ielts, but it's not all the organizations that will tell you, right? Seyi, did you need Ielts for your own job?
No, it wasn't required.
So it doesn't. So you just have to check the organization.
I think it depends on the job. It depends on the company. But just like you said, in as much as your final goal is still apply for PR at some point, you still need IELTS. But for some jobs, it's not required. But if you're applying for caregiver job from outside, I think you need the IELTS. But if you're coming like a software developer, so I don't think you need that, because you'll be having face-to-face video call interviews and all those things, which will be in English. So it's already a way to check that your English works out. And most of the platforms you'll be using to apply will also check your English. So
yeah, even for the caregiver, actually, it's not like the CLB7 is very low. Like, I'm not saying low in the sense that it makes you not smart, but it's low is something I think you can actually do. I think for most of them, CLB5, which I think is okay. But the only problem is if you are coming through the express entry pool, you still have to have that CLB7, which is 666 in each, so that you can have an online registration with the, just to be in the pool.
CLB7 is 777 now.
Sorry?
CLB7, is it 777?
No, CLB7 is Canadian language benchmark for Canada.
Oh, okay.
But ideally under the IELTS is you must have 6. Like you have 6 in listening, 6 in writing, 6 in speaking, six
Yeah,
in reading. So yeah, but
yeah.
they call it Canadian language benchmark. So 7, but it's not supposed to be 7. It's supposed to be 6, 6, 6, 6 in each band, not overall. So if you have 6, 6, 6, so if you have 6, 6 in each band and you have 5.5 in one of the band, you can use it. So guys, there are also websites you can use to help yourself, practice. They say makes perfect, and then you can, that 666 is actually very achievable, right? So but for the caregiver, you don't really need that much of a high score. But if you don't get that high score, eventually you still have to rewrite it. So why waste your time? Just try and make sure you have that CLB 7. That's it. Do you need IELTS to get a job? No, we already addressed that. You don't need IELTS. Good evening, Oluchi. Please, do you know any province hiring an early child care giver or special need people? Almost all the province hire early child care. Now, you can try the Atlantic regions. When I say Atlantic regions, I'm talking about Manitoba, I'm talking about Saskatchewan, I'm talking about Newfoundland, I'm talking about New Brunswick. Please try New Brunswick. Is a bilingual province, speak French and English, which is okay. That is the only approved bilingual in Canada. So try New Brunswick, especially. They're actually, in search of international, how like we know applicants now. So yes, ECE, it's called ECA caregiver. So try them. They are, go and check on their website, the government website for New Brunswick. They need them. Anything Atlantic region, try. Yeah, that's not to say that Ontario region too doesn't, but it's just so wild. You have to try to search for job. So you can also try Job Bank. Like I said, I'll drop the video so you can see how you can go about it, navigate it, and it will also tell you which province actually needs your specialty, needs your skills in that Job Bank to show you there. Okay. So yeah, they also need that. So early child caregiver, they do need that right now. Said, although Teemi, you have spoken about this. But this is live, so please indulge me. It's okay. For students, though, if one wishes to come with one's family, is it a matter of funds alone? If so, to live for a year? No, it's not only a matter of funds alone. If you are going to come with your family, it's not only. In fact, let me shock you guys. There are times that you will have millions in your account and they will still reject you. For you coming as a student, make sure your statement of purpose is very convincing. It has to be convincing. Why are you coming? What is your plan to go back home? How do you want to impact the knowledge you've learned here back home? How do you want to build your community? So if you can sound very convincing, you would get it. That's the major thing. Trust me, your SOP is very important. That's not to say you shouldn't have your proof of fund, because without proof of fund is amounting to zero. I think I've done a video severally about this on my channel for the proof of fund, and I'm all about family coming in together, which is very important, because if you don't have your family here, you can never be at peace, and that's the truth. So proof of fund is equally very important. The course you're picking has to be aligned to your skill set or your past experience. And if you are transitioning to a different career, you have to make them know why you're transitioning. Do you have a work experience in that field before? So let's say maybe someone like me that transitioned from HR to nursing. Yeah, some people feel it's funny, but yeah, we have our personal preferences, personal reasons for doing that. Do I have experience in that before? I didn't have experience in nursing, but I had to go and start from caregiver. I started from caregiver, and then I eventually got into nursing. So it's the same thing. So if you have experience back home and you feel you want to continue in that direction, and what you have read, let's say you read botany and you want to come here as HR, maybe you've been working back back home, what we read in school is not what we actually practice. For many of us, most of us work in the bank, right? So if you have been working in the bank and maybe you read botany, you now want to switch career, you want to switch career and say, okay, I want to continue in the financial analysis aspect. That's a good one for you, because the officer will say, okay, this makes sense. She's been working in this bank, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And then they can see reason as to why you're transitioning. Do you understand? I hope I was able to clear this. What is the estimate based on post-COVID situation? How do you mean estimate? Estimate for what? Boss, do you want to resend that question? Estimate for what? Like, I don't understand. Estimate in what aspect are we talking about here? Thanks very much, sis. Waiting for it. Seriously, I was the one who chatted you on IG. Oh, really? Hi. I don't know. So many people chatted me, but hi. Thanks for joining. And I'm glad you found it useful. But if you completed a degree in Canada, do you still need IELTS? Yes, ma'am or sir, you do need IELTS. It's the criteria. You can't run from it. If you like, finish from master's, finish your doctorate degree, you need IELTS to be able to secure your PR. Unfortunately, it is what it is. What is the fastest way for physiotherapists who did not get marked for age? Oh, because he is 46 but is already in the pool. Oh, shoot. He has also done PhD. My advice is get a job, because once you get to that mark of 35 and above, express might not really be the best for you. So there are 3 things I would say you should do. 1, get back to school, do another PhD. 2, get a family sponsorship. 3, provincial nominee. Those are your best bets. And 4, lastly, get a job. Physiotherapists are very good in demand, and he has a master's and a PhD for that matter. Do you know how much you could be earning? Go the work route and bring your family in. Okay? But still remain in the pool. Yeah. I'd like to emphasize on that. I don't know which one have I said now. Okay. Did you say ECE caregiver? Yeah. There's ECE, there's ECA. So ECA is education. I don't even know what they call it now. Something assistant. Education. Oh gosh. Okay, sorry. ECA. There are 2 types. There's for education care assistant. Yeah. The education, I'm not sure if it's care. I don't want to give you wrong information. But there's ECA, because they do the programming. ECA here is 1 year. ECE is a 2-year program. So ECE is an advanced level of ECA. So ECA is like you assisting in the class. You understand? So educational care assistants, you assist the teachers. ECE is that's it. It's called early childhood assistance. That's what it stands for. ECE. Then ECE is early childhood educator. So that's the difference. Okay. So the early childhood educator is 2-year diploma. The early childhood assistant is a 1-year diploma. So for ECE, you'll be the one in charge of the class. Okay. You have children from the ages of between 1 to 4 years before they get back to school. Yeah, that's ECE. That's ECE. And you also have the opportunity to work with the government. So yeah, there are 2 different types, ECE or ECE. You're so lucky we are talking about school today. I didn't plan on talking about school. We're not going to take much of Seyi's time, so we'll be rounding up very soon. And don't worry, Seyi, we should do more of this, like to
yeah, we should.
Out to people. They do need it. For someone doing the dual application thing, would you still need to show that you are coming back to your country? That's definitely correct. You would have to show that. It's very important. You would have to show that you are coming back. But please just make sure you declare that you have an ongoing application. It is your right to declare. They cannot reject you based on that, because your application has not been approved and you are stating now that you'll be going back to your country because you have this. So it's not because of the PR that you are. I've done it myself, so I know. This is why I'm saying it's very, very, very legal to do that. Okay, I did that myself because I didn't want to waste any opportunity I had. Imagine, until I got my PR, and then I told them I don't need it. Thank you. So yeah. um, so oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And said, living expenses for a family with a primary person who is a student.
I
Okay.
think this is a follow up to the question about you said clarify.
Oh,
So
okay.
the one about estimates.
Oh, okay,
This
okay. So, okay, I'll quickly let me just quickly. You need to go and watch my videos. I already did this, but I'll just quickly break it down for you. So, for a principal applicant, whether you are the student too, or whether you're here, the most important thing is for the principal applicant, your living expense have a minimum of 10,000 Canadian dollars. That is the standard fee or money, would I say, funds that you should be able to show for living expense. 10,000. This is aside from your tuition fee. Okay, and then for each additional dependent that you have, $3,000 for living expense. I hope I was able to clear that. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we are running into 1 hour. Before Seyi will just have my head. We just have a few questions and then we'll call it a day. What is the best route for someone who runs their own business and wants to migrate with his family? There's the startup visa if you have that kind of money. Why are you rolling your eyes?
I like that
Ah,
type of money.
don't. Nigerians are very rich. Oh. There's a startup business if you have the money. The only problem is that for the startup business, you have to probably get a company here that would align with you, that will partner with you, and you have to be able to show some ridiculous amount of money like that. I think about one is 75,000 Canadian dollar, the other is 200,000 Canadian dollar. So if you have that finance, girl, man, please go for it. Okay, go for it. Yeah, so startup business, you can start that visa process. Is this? Oh, thank you, Oluchi. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I just mentioned it right now.
Yes, you did. You did.
I just, I just mentioned it. So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The live was really, really interacting today. Actually, thank you. What's your last? What will be the? I wanted to give everyone watching your little advice. A little advice based on the fact that you've been here and you came in with a work permit. Please, I beg you, give them that advice.
Well, I think if it's what you want to do, you want to relocate to Canada, and you should just be open to as many opportunities as possible. Apply for jobs that you think you're suitable for. And even if you think you're not suitable for this job and you realize that it's a job that's in demand in Canada, you can take 1 year to do what you need to do and prepare yourself. If it's like a caregiver job, prepare yourself and apply through that route. You finally get it one day. And once you come, you can always transition back into where you want to be. It's just like a step to take you closer to where you want to be. So if you have not started already, start. Find out as many opportunities as possible, apply for them, and at least when you have option, one of them will click and you finally get where you are. So keep on pushing, and I wish you
Oh,
luck.
thank you so much, Shay. Thank you so much for coming on the live with me today. And yeah, she has said it all, guys. Don't give up. The country is really not nice right now. I won't say that. Am I supposed to say that? Well, it's the truth. So I don't know, guys. Just keep pushing. It's doable. If finances is the problem, please try the work route. You would get it. You just have to put in more effort. Okay, guys, keep pushing. You can do it. I'm rooting for you guys. I want everyone here. The more the merrier. We need a larger community. Canada is
Mhm.
big. We have so many provinces, and we want everybody here to be happy. At least to have the essential basic life. So anyways, that's it, guys. Please support us and subscribe to our channel, Teemi Pheels, seyijegz. We'll be doing more of these by God's grace, and just to pick up a topic, I will come and talk. So guys, please follow us on our channels and let us continue to mingle. So that will be the end for today. Do you have anything you want to say, Seyi, before we end it?
No, no, no.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. And that's it from me and from Seyi. Say bye. Have a good evening, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Mhm.